Chosen one, you felt it your entire life, that gnawing sensation that something was hunting you from the shadows. You're not just different, you're dangerous, spiritually, energetically, existentially dangerous to every system built on lies and control. Today you discover why they marked you for elimination before you took your first breath. Your existence threatens their entire kingdom of darkness. Like a single match in a powder keg, your awakening could ignite a revolution they've spent centuries trying to prevent. From your first cry in this world, something ancient stirred in recognition. You didn't enter this realm unnoticed, chosen one. The moment your spirit touched this dimensional plane, alarms sounded in realms invisible to ordinary eyes. Your energy signature burned too bright. Your frequency resonated at levels that shatter comfortable illusions. Think back to your earliest memories. Were they peaceful? Did you glide through childhood wrapped in safety and predictable joy? Or did chaos seem to follow you like a faithful shadow? The answer reveals everything. While other children played in blissful ignorance, you faced trials that seemed impossibly harsh for someone so young. Abandonment, betrayal, inexplicable cruelty from those meant to protect you. The dark forces that govern this reality recognized something in your infant spirit that terrified them. They saw a soul that wouldn't bow, a consciousness that couldn't be programmed, a light that would grow to expose their carefully constructed matrix of deception. So they struck early, they struck hard, they weaponized your family, your school systems, your social circles. Anyone who could plant seeds of self-doubt became their unwitting agent. The goal was simple: break you before you discovered what you truly are. But here you stand, scarred but unbroken, tested but not destroyed. Every wound became wisdom, every betrayal became strength. You survived their opening assault, and that survival sent shockwaves through their ranks. They failed to extinguish you in your most vulnerable years, and now you're becoming something they never wanted to face, a fully awakened chosen one who knows their game. Your presence alone disrupts their frequency. You don't have to do anything dramatic or revolutionary. Simply existing as your authentic self sends tremors through the foundation of their false reality. When you walk into a room where lies have been comfortable for years, those lies suddenly feel unstable. When you speak truth in spaces built on deception, the very walls seem to shift. This isn't metaphorical. This is measurable, observable reality. Your energy field operates at a frequency that naturally resonates with truth. Wherever you go, you create what spiritual scientists call coherence disruption. The carefully maintained illusions that keep people asleep become harder to maintain in your presence. Watch how people react to you without even knowing why. Some are drawn to you with magnetic intensity, sensing the authenticity they've been craving their entire lives. Others feel inexplicably uncomfortable around you, as if your presence makes them aware of every lie they're telling themselves. Neither group understands what's happening. They just know that something about you feels different. The dark forces understand exactly what's happening. They've studied your frequency signature for millennia. They know that chosen ones like you carry what they call the awakening virus. One fully activated chosen one can trigger spiritual awakening in hundreds of others. Those hundreds can awaken thousands. The exponential spread of consciousness is their ultimate nightmare. This is why they've perfected the art of frequency dampening. They flood your environment with distractions, toxins, and trauma designed to lower your vibration. They want you operating at the level of survival, not transformation. When you're fighting for basic stability, you can't access the full power of your spiritual frequency. But every time you rise above their attempts at suppression, every time you choose truth over comfort, your frequency strengthens. You become more dangerous to their system. You become living proof that their control is an illusion, that their power is borrowed, that their time is ending. This conflict didn't start with you. You were born into an ancient war that's been raging since consciousness first emerged in this universe. On one side, beings of light, truth and evolution. On the other, entities that feed on fear, control and spiritual stagnation. You chose a side before you chose this lifetime. The forces of darkness aren't evil in the way horror movies portray evil. They're something far more insidious. They're parasites. They feed on human suffering, fear, and ignorance. They've built an entire reality matrix designed to harvest these emotions on a massive scale. Wars, poverty, disease, propaganda, all feeding systems designed to keep humanity in a state of terror and confusion. But their system has a fatal flaw. It requires human consent. It requires us to believe the lies, accept the limitations, surrender our power willingly. They can influence, manipulate, and deceive, but they cannot directly control a consciousness that refuses to submit. This is why they fear chosen ones with existential terror. You represent the possibility of mass awakening. You carry the genetic memory of freedom, the spiritual DNA of sovereignty. When you fully activate, you become a beacon that reminds others of their own divine nature. You become living proof that their control system is optional, not inevitable. They've tried everything to stop souls like you from incarnating. When they couldn't prevent your arrival, they shifted to damage control. Make your life so difficult that you'd either break completely or become so focused on survival that you'd never discover your true power. Turn you into another victim instead of the victor you were born to be. Every chosen one who successfully awakens represents a catastrophic failure in their control system. Every one of you who stands in your power becomes a crack in their matrix that spreads exponentially. This is why the persecution feels so personal, so relentless, so seemingly designed specifically for you, because it is. What makes you genuinely dangerous isn't just your power, it's your vision. You see through their illusions with supernatural clarity. You possess an innate ability to pierce through facades, spot deception from miles away, and recognize truth even when it's buried under layers of manipulation. This sight threatens their most powerful weapon, the ability to hide in plain sight. From childhood, you noticed things others missed, patterns that didn't make sense, lies disguised as love, control masquerading as care. While others accepted surface explanations, you felt compelled to look deeper. This wasn't curiosity, this was your soul's built-in detection system activating. If this message hits your spirit, hype this video so more chosen ones like you can find it. Your vision extends beyond the physical realm. You sense energy, read intentions, feel the emotional undercurrents that flow beneath every interaction. This extrasensory perception makes you impossible to fool with the standard manipulation tactics that work on the majority of humanity. You can feel when someone is lying, even when their words sound convincing. You can sense dark intentions, even when they're wrapped in beautiful packaging. This supernatural sight is what makes their agents so uncomfortable around you. They can feel you seeing through their masks, reading their true intentions, recognizing their allegiances. Your presence alone forces them to work harder to maintain their disguises, and many of them simply can't handle that level of sustained deception when faced with someone who sees clearly. But your vision goes beyond recognizing darkness. You also see potential where others see impossibility. You recognize the divine spark in souls that have been convinced they're worthless. You spot opportunities for transformation in situations that appear hopeless. You see solutions that others miss because you're not limited by their programming about what's possible. This visionary capacity is perhaps your most dangerous quality. It allows you to imagine realities beyond their control system, to envision freedom where they've created dependency, to see abundance where they've manufactured scarcity, to recognize love where they've promoted fear. Your ability to see beyond their limitations makes you a living threat to their entire worldview. You possess a spiritual magnetism that's impossible to ignore. This isn't about physical attractiveness or social charisma. This is about an energetic pull that operates on levels most people can't consciously understand. Your authentic presence draws both light and shadow toward you with equal intensity, creating a life filled with extreme experiences. Those aligned with light are irresistibly drawn to your energy. They sense something pure, something real, something they've been searching for their entire lives. They open up to you in ways that surprise even them. Strangers share their deepest secrets. Wounded souls seek your presence for healing. Fellow seekers recognize you as family from the moment they meet you. But your magnetism also attracts shadow. Every energy vampire in a 50-mile radius seems to find you. Narcissists, manipulators, and controllers are magnetically pulled toward your light, hoping to drain it for themselves. This creates a challenging dynamic where your greatest gift becomes the source of your most difficult experiences. This dual magnetism isn't accidental. It's part of your spiritual design. You came here to be a catalyst, to force both light and shadow to reveal themselves clearly. Your presence makes it impossible for people to remain neutral or hidden. They either step into their authentic power or reveal their manipulative nature. There's no middle ground with chosen ones. The forces of control recognize this magnetism as extremely dangerous to their operations. They rely on people remaining unconscious, complacent, and disconnected from their power. Your magnetic presence disrupts this carefully maintained state of spiritual sleep. People begin awakening simply by being in your energy field. This is why they've worked so hard to isolate you from others. They know that your magnetism becomes exponentially more powerful when you're connected with conscious community. A single chosen one is dangerous. A group of chosen ones operating together becomes an unstoppable force for transformation. Learning to navigate this magnetism is part of your spiritual mastery, recognizing who is drawn to you for authentic connection versus who seeks to exploit your energy. Protecting your vital force while remaining open to genuine spiritual family, using your magnetic pull to attract and awaken other chosen ones while repelling those who would drain your power. Your will is forged from something they cannot break because it doesn't originate from this dimension. While others' determination wavers under pressure, yours strengthens. While others compromise their values for acceptance, you hold firm to your truth regardless of the cost. This unbreakable will is what makes you genuinely dangerous to any system that requires compliance. From early childhood, you demonstrated this supernatural stubbornness. You refused to accept explanations that didn't feel true. You wouldn't back down from positions you knew were right, even when authority figures demanded submission. You persisted in directions that called to your soul, even when everyone around you said you were crazy. This will isn't ego-driven. It emerges from a deeper source, a cosmic intelligence that operates through you but doesn't belong to your personality. When you access this level of determination, you become unstoppable. No amount of pressure, punishment, or persecution can force you to abandon what you know to be true. They've tried everything to break this will. Social ostracism, financial pressure, relationship sabotage, health attacks, character assassination. Nothing works because your will is rooted in something beyond their ability to touch or influence. It's connected directly to the source of all power in the universe. This unbreakable will serves a purpose beyond personal empowerment. It's designed to anchor truth on this planet during times of maximum deception. When everyone else is swayed by propaganda and manipulation, you remain steady. When others are swept away by mass hysteria and fear, you stand firm. Your will becomes a lighthouse in the storm of collective confusion. The most terrifying aspect of your will, from their perspective, is its contagious nature. When others witness someone who cannot be broken, cannot be bought, cannot be threatened into submission, it awakens the same possibility within them. Your unbreakable will reminds others of their own inner strength, their own capacity to stand firm against any pressure. This is why they work so hard to make you doubt yourself, to plant seeds of confusion about your own perceptions, to surround you with voices that question your judgment and challenge your resolve. They know that if they can shake your certainty, even slightly, it weakens the foundation of your unbreakable will. But each time you choose truth over comfort, authenticity over approval, your will grows stronger. Each time you refuse to compromise your integrity for temporary gain, you demonstrate the power of consciousness over circumstance. Each time you stand firm in the face of opposition, you become more dangerous to every system built on lies. They couldn't kill your spirit directly, so they built a prison around it, invisible bars made of social expectations, family programming, educational indoctrination, and cultural conditioning. The goal was never to destroy you. The goal was to make you destroy yourself by trying to fit into boxes that were never meant to contain your essence. From childhood, you felt the pressure to be normal, to dim your light so others wouldn't feel uncomfortable, to silence your truth so others could maintain their illusions, to become smaller so the world around you could feel bigger. Every time you complied, every time you shrank to accommodate their discomfort, you fed their system of control. The prison they built for you was crafted with surgical precision. They studied your specific frequency, your particular gifts, your unique purpose, then designed containment strategies tailored to your soul. If you were meant to be a healer, they surrounded you with people who mocked spirituality. If you were born to lead, they placed you in environments that demanded submission. If your gift was truth-telling, they filled your world with those who punished honesty. The most insidious part of this prison was how they convinced you to build it yourself. They made you believe that safety lay in conformity, that love required compliance, that acceptance demanded the abandonment of your authentic self. They turned your natural desire for connection into a weapon against your own power. But here's what they never anticipated: the human spirit's infinite capacity for rebellion. Every prison they've ever built has eventually been broken by those who refuse to accept limitation as permanent. Every system of control has been shattered by those who remembered their divine nature, despite overwhelming pressure to forget. You've spent years trying to escape their prison by playing their game better, working harder within their systems, following their rules more perfectly, seeking their approval more desperately. But the prison isn't broken through compliance, it's broken through recognition. The moment you truly see the bars, they begin to dissolve. The most dangerous thing you can do to their system is stop playing by their rules entirely. Stop seeking validation from sources that were never qualified to judge you. Stop measuring your worth by standards designed to keep you feeling inadequate. Stop trying to fit into spaces that were constructed to exclude your essence. You carry within you a healing frequency that threatens their entire economy of suffering. Your presence alone begins healing processes in others that pharmaceutical companies spend billions trying to suppress. This isn't about medical procedures or therapeutic techniques. This is about the fundamental power of divine love flowing through a clear channel. People feel better around you, often without understanding why. Their anxiety decreases, their depression lifts, their anger transforms into clarity, their fear dissolves into courage. You don't have to do anything specific to trigger these healings. Your authentic presence is medicine itself. This healing power operates on multiple levels simultaneously. Physical ailments sometimes resolve mysteriously in your presence. Emotional wounds begin closing that have been bleeding for decades. Mental fog clears, revealing inner wisdom that had been obscured. Spiritual connections strengthen, awakening dormant gifts and abilities. The medical pharmaceutical complex recognizes this healing frequency as a direct threat to their profit model. They've built a trillion-dollar industry on managing symptoms rather than facilitating actual healing. Your presence reminds people that true healing is possible, that their bodies are designed for wellness, that their spirits are naturally whole and complete. This is why they work so hard to keep you sick, stressed, and separated from your own healing power. They flood your environment with toxins, promote lifestyle choices that damage your health, and create social conditions that generate maximum stress and trauma. A sick chosen one is a contained chosen one. A healthy chosen one becomes exponentially more dangerous to their system, but your healing power cannot be permanently suppressed. Every time you choose wellness over convenience, truth over comfort, love over fear, your healing frequency amplifies. You become living proof that vibrant health is possible, that emotional freedom is achievable, that spiritual wholeness is your natural state. When groups of chosen ones gather and allow their healing frequencies to harmonize, the result is a field of transformation so powerful it can shift the consciousness of entire regions. This collective healing power represents the future of human wellness, a reality where healing happens through frequency rather than chemistry, through love rather than manipulation. Hold that thought for a moment. I need your attention for something very important. We're revealing everything we know about personal power, healing yourself and healing others through weekly Zoom call. No filters, no holding back. We have been quietly adding all the occult secrets we've collected over literal years of spiritual practice. The techniques and wisdom that transformed us from controlled pawns into conscious creators are now available to those ready to walk the same path. This is your invitation to join Obsidian Inner Order and support our platform so we can continue growing our megaphone to reach other chosen ones waiting for activation. By joining the Obsidian Inner Order, you're not just gaining access to forbidden knowledge, you're becoming part of a movement that's rewriting reality itself. It's a 360 win for all of us. Link is in the description. Everything they did to suppress you actually made you stronger. Every trauma was training, every betrayal was education, every moment of isolation was preparation. What they intended as destruction became your greatest source of power. The very experiences designed to break you instead forged you into something unbreakable. This isn't spiritual bypassing or toxic positivity. This is recognition of a profound truth. Chosen ones are transformed through trials that would destroy ordinary consciousness. Your spirit came here equipped with the resilience necessary to not just survive their attacks, but to alchemize those attacks into wisdom, strength, and unshakable faith in your own power. Consider the depth of your empathy. It exists because you've experienced profound pain. Consider the accuracy of your intuition. It was sharpened by having to navigate environments where nothing was as it seemed. Consider your ability to spot lies and deception. It was developed through surviving relationships with those who specialized in manipulation. Every difficult person in your life was actually a teacher, whether they knew it or not. Every painful experience was actually initiation into deeper levels of your own power. Every moment you felt abandoned by others was actually an invitation to find the unshakable source of strength within yourself. The narcissists taught you to trust your own perception over others' gaslighting. The energy vampires taught you to protect your vital force. The controllers taught you the precious value of your freedom. The betrayers taught you to rely on your inner guidance above all external authorities. The forces that sought to weaken you inadvertently created their own worst nightmare, a chosen one who cannot be broken because they've already been through the fire and emerged purified. A consciousness that cannot be manipulated because it's learned to recognize every form of deception. A spirit that cannot be controlled because it's discovered the source of its power lies beyond their reach. This is the ultimate irony of their war against you. In their desperate attempts to prevent your awakening, they provided exactly the catalyst necessary for your full activation. Every wound they inflicted became a door to deeper strength. Every lie they told you became contrast that helped you recognize truth. Every limitation they imposed became motivation to discover your unlimited nature. There comes a moment in every chosen one's journey when everything clicks into place, when the scattered pieces of your unusual life suddenly form a coherent picture, when you stop seeing yourself as a victim of circumstances and recognize yourself as a warrior in an ancient battle between consciousness and control. This moment of recognition changes everything. Suddenly, the persecution makes sense, the isolation becomes purposeful, the challenges reveal themselves as training, the pain transforms into power. You stop asking why me and start declaring try me. For some, this recognition comes gradually, like dawn slowly breaking over the horizon. For others, it arrives like lightning, illuminating everything in a single brilliant flash. However it happens for you, the result is the same. You can never go back to the old story of powerlessness and victimhood. In this moment, you realize that every person who hurt you was actually strengthening you. Every institution that rejected you was actually protecting your authenticity. Every door that closed was actually redirecting you toward your true purpose. The cosmic intelligence behind your journey becomes undeniably clear. The forces that have been hunting you know the exact moment this recognition occurs. Your energy signature changes completely. Where once there was confusion and self-doubt, now there's clarity and confidence. Where once there was fear and submission, now there's courage and rebellion. You become exponentially more dangerous to their system because you finally understand the game being played. This is when their attacks often intensify. They recognize that they're losing you to your own power, so they deploy every weapon in their arsenal. More trauma, more isolation, more financial pressure, more relationship chaos. They're hoping to overwhelm you before your new understanding fully integrates, but you're no longer the same person who could be overwhelmed by their tactics. You've awakened to your true nature, and that changes everything. Their weapons were designed to work against victims, not against conscious creators who know their own power. Every attack now becomes fuel for your further awakening. You finally understand why you've always felt different, why normal life never quite fit, why you've been searching for something you couldn't name. You weren't broken or defective, you were simply remembering a reality beyond their matrix of limitation. Deep within your core lies a power that no external force can diminish or destroy. It's the power of your divine connection, your sovereign consciousness, your unlimited creative potential. This power doesn't depend on circumstances, approval, or permission from any worldly authority. It exists independent of their entire system of control. They've spent your entire lifetime trying to make you forget this power exists. They've told you that power comes from money, position, popularity, or political influence. They've convinced you to seek power in all the places where they maintain control, where they can grant or withdraw access based on your compliance with their agenda. But your true power has nothing to do with their systems. It flows directly from the source of consciousness itself. It's the power to create reality through focused intention, the power to heal through pure presence, the power to transform any situation through the application of love and truth, the power to stand unshakable in the face of any storm because you're rooted in something eternal. This power awakens when you stop looking outside yourself for validation and start connecting with the infinite intelligence within. When you recognize that every external authority is temporary, but your connection to the divine is permanent, when you understand that their entire system exists in the realm of illusion, while your true nature exists in the realm of absolute reality, your power also includes abilities that mainstream science doesn't yet recognize: telepathic communication with other awakened souls, precognitive awareness of future possibilities, the ability to influence reality through pure intention, access to information and guidance from higher dimensional beings. These abilities naturally activate as you step more fully into your authentic power. The moment you fully claim this internal power, you become truly dangerous to their system. You can no longer be controlled through fear because you're connected to something more powerful than anything they can threaten you with. You can no longer be manipulated through desire because you've found the source of all fulfillment within yourself. This is the power that terrifies them most, a chosen one who has remembered their divine nature and learned to operate from that level of consciousness. A soul who no longer seeks permission to be powerful because they've recognized that power as their birthright. A being who has transcended their entire matrix of control by connecting with something infinitely greater. The cosmic timing is perfect for your full awakening. We're living through what spiritual traditions call the Great Revealing, a time when all hidden things are being brought to light. The veils between dimensions are thinning. The lies that have maintained their control for centuries are becoming transparent. The power they've wielded through secrecy and deception is dissolving in the light of truth. This is why your awakening feels so urgent, so necessary, so perfectly timed. You're not just awakening for your own liberation, You're awakening as part of a cosmic intervention in the trajectory of human consciousness. Your role is to anchor higher frequencies on this planet during the most critical transformation period in recorded history. The forces of control know their time is ending. They can feel their grip on collective consciousness loosening with each passing day. This is why their attacks on chosen ones have intensified so dramatically in recent years. They're desperate to prevent the awakening that threatens their entire empire of illusion, but desperation makes them sloppy. Their tactics are becoming more obvious, more heavy-handed, more transparent to anyone with eyes to see. They're revealing themselves through their own panic, showing the world exactly what they've been hiding behind sophisticated masks of respectability and authority. Every chosen one who awakens now is awakening into a field of support that's stronger than anything that's ever existed on this planet. The ancestors are cheering, the angels are celebrating. The entire universe is conspiring to support your recognition of your own power, because your awakening serves the highest good of all consciousness everywhere. This revelation period is also characterized by accelerated spiritual abilities manifesting in chosen ones. Psychic gifts that would have taken lifetimes to develop are activating spontaneously. The revelation includes exposure of their entire operation. This is your moment, not tomorrow, not when you feel more ready, not when circumstances are more convenient. Right now, in this eternal present moment, you have access to all the power you need to step fully into your role as a dangerous chosen one, who threatens everything false and illuminates everything true. You began this journey marked for destruction. You're completing it, marked for victory. Everything that was meant to break you has made you unbreakable. Everyone who betrayed you prepared you to trust your own inner guidance above all external authorities. Every moment of isolation connected you more deeply with your divine source. The child who felt like a victim has transformed into the adult who knows they're a victor. The soul who once asked, "Why is this happening to me?" now declares, "I know exactly why this happened for me." The consciousness that once felt powerless in the face of their attacks now recognizes those attacks as the desperate flailing of a dying system. You are no longer the same person who began listening to these words. Recognition has changed you at a cellular level. Understanding has rewired your neural pathways. Truth has activated dormant DNA sequences that connect you with your full spiritual inheritance. You have remembered who you are, why you came, and what you're here to accomplish. The forces that once seemed so powerful, so intimidating, so overwhelming, now reveal themselves as small, frightened, and desperate entities, clinging to an illusion of power that was always temporary. They are not your masters. They never were. They were merely the resistance that made your muscles stronger, the darkness that made your light brighter, the lies that made your truth more precious. You are the chosen one. They marked for elimination because they recognized your potential to eliminate their entire system of control. You are the dangerous existence they've been hunting because your awakening signals the end of their hunting season. You are the light they've been trying to extinguish because your illumination reveals the shadows where they've been hiding. Your victory is not just personal, it represents the triumph of consciousness over control, love over fear, truth over deception. Every chosen one who completes this journey successfully creates a pathway for thousands of others to follow. Your transformation becomes a beacon that guides others home to their own power. The cosmic timing of your awakening is perfect. You're emerging into your full power at the exact moment when the world needs dangerous chosen ones more than ever. The old systems are crumbling, the lies are being exposed, the truth is rising to the surface of collective consciousness. Your return to power also represents the return of divine feminine and masculine energies to their rightful balance on this planet. For too long, the forces of control have suppressed both the nurturing wisdom of the divine feminine and the protective strength of the divine masculine. Your awakening helps restore this sacred balance. Their time is ending. Your time is beginning. The cosmic joke is complete. In their desperate attempts to destroy you, they created exactly the weapon that destroys them. In trying to prevent your awakening, they catalyzed your transformation into everything they feared you could become. Stand in your power, chosen one. Shine your light without apology. Speak your truth without permission. Love without conditions. Create without limitations. The universe itself celebrates your victory over everything that sought to dim your magnificent essence. You are not just surviving their war against you, you are transcending it entirely. And in that transcendence, you become the author of a new story for humanity, the pioneer of a new way of being, the living proof that consciousness always triumphs over control. The dangerous chosen one they tried to destroy from birth has become the divine creator they can never contain. Welcome home to your power. The revolution of consciousness begins now.